learning process because I watched these guys play for 20-something games, and I was able to see what they were able to accomplish at the American League level. So I think that experience certainly helped me with utilizing those guys in the most optimal way.
Coach, before you got here, Sidney played a little bit with Phil Kessel, and that combination didn't really work out. You put Connor Sheard with Sid, a relative unknown, and it works great. What's the chemistry there in your mind that you like those two together on the same line?
Well, I think when you look at Connor's game, he's quick, he's elusive in tight space, he's got high hockey IQ, and he has really good hands. He has good offensive instincts. He can play that give and go game in tight space underneath the hash marks. He sees the ice off the rush pretty well, and these are all areas of Sid's game that I think are his strengths. So to have a guy like Connor to play with him that allows him the opportunity to play that give and go game and maybe free up some space or create some space for Sid to make a play or in those types of situations, I think their skill sets are complementary. You never know when you put guys together, will they succeed? Some of it is just, you think sometimes the line combination will work and sometimes they don't and other times they do. We certainly speak as a coaching staff on a daily basis about our line combinations and, which skill sets we think are complementary and who can help whom. And we try to, use our gut instincts to make the best decisions for our team. But, Connor's played a fair amount with Sid over the course of the end of the season and into the postseason. And we really like what we've seen with that group, And I think Hornquist is another guy that helps those guys as well. He goes to the net. He creates a lot of havoc by going to the net and open up lanes. And he's really good down underneath the hash marks as far as winning puck battles and helping those guys keep the puck. So that's been a real important line for us. They play in a lot of key situations, and we've liked what we've seen so far.
All right, Ken on the lot.
Yeah. I believe I believe the period of time between Russ taking the initial hit from Marlowe and going back up for a shift was about 7 minutes. Can you take us through a little bit of what the thought process was amongst the trainers and doctors and yourself to put him up for that second shift?
The thought process, well, first of all, it's in the middle of the game, and the coaches aren't really involved in that. We rely on the medical staff to take the necessary steps with our players, and that's what they did. And I usually get information from Stu, our trainer, on whether or not a player is available or is not available throughout the course of the game. So, they go through the necessary steps that they need to take with our players. I know that our medical staff does a terrific job as far as taking the right precautionary measures. Our philosophy has always been the health of our athletes first and foremost, and our guys take that very seriously. And I think they do a terrific job. So we trust them that they're going to do the right things for us, protect our athletes in the necessary way, and we take their advice as far as how we utilize them.
There were 6 guys on the ice this morning. Sidney Crosby was one of them. He said he just wanted to work on stuff. You see it every day. Is it ever getting less impressive, his work ethic?
No, I've spoken to this point on a number of occasions. I don't think he's as good as he is by accident. He's as long as I've been associated with this league, I don't know that I've been around a player that has the same work ethic that Sid does, as far as that insatiable appetite to just try to get better and be the best. I think that's why he's as good as he is. Excuse me, everybody sees his talent. There's a lot of talented guys out there, but I think his work ethic allows him to be the player that he is. It's impressive, and I think it also sets a standard for our team. When your captain and your top player brings a work ethic to the rink every day like he does, he certainly makes my job as a head coach a lot easier as far as demanding the type of standard that we need to in order to be successful.
Mike, now that you've had a chance to see that hit and the Department of Player Safety's ruling, what's your opinion on both?
I really don't have an opinion on it. I shared my opinion last night. We're just going to play hockey. The league does their job. We're going to do our job. We're just going to play.
Back right?
Mike, how would you say your feelings about Matt Murray's game evolved going into last night, his first time in the final? First period doesn't get a lot of pucks. Second period gives up a couple goals. Third period makes some plays for you. How did just your feeling about the way he was going to approach this game evolve through the game?
I don't question his approach. He's provided so much evidence for us throughout the course of this postseason that he can play and compete in a high stakes environment. We don't question it. We think Matt gives us the timely saves that we need to give the team a chance to win, and he did that for us last night. He's done that for us throughout the course of the postseason. He's a big reason why I think this team is still playing to this point. I think our players have a lot of confidence in him. I think our players have a lot of confidence in all our goals for that matter. We're a fortunate team that we have the guys that we have back there that we can call on to make those timely saves for us.
Two more in the back.
Like if Brian isn't able to go tomorrow, could Eric go back on that line? And if he does, how would you evaluate his play on that line earlier?
Eric Fair. That's a lot of hypotheticals for me. So coaches don't really live in that world. But if he were to go back on that line, he's a pretty good player. And regardless of which line he plays on, Fairzy's had the ability to adapt his game. But one thing he does bring to the respective lines is he's another center iceman that can take faceoffs in the defensive zone. He has a real good awareness in the D zone. He's pretty strong on the wall. So he brings all of those elements to that line that we choose to put him on. So, we'll make decisions accordingly depending on who we think is available for our lineup. But hypotheticals is not the world that we live in.
Last question.
Mike, when some of your best penalty killers are taking penalties, you get a little bit concerned?
Well, we certainly don't want to take penalties from just as a rule, but it hurts when our penalty killers that we rely on are in the penalty box. But listen, they're trying to play hard. They're competing. They're trying to do everything they can to help this team win. So, that's a part of the game. We understand it. And our players, regardless of who takes the penalties, I think we have enough depth in all of our positions that we have enough people that we can put on the ice in a penalty kill situation that we feel comfortable can get the job done.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.